Today we're looking at Unit 1, Lesson 2, and it's writing numbers using standard form, word form, and expanded form. Remember, when I write standard form, I will be writing it like this, which is just normal numbers, don't forget your comma. When it asks me to write it in word form, I'm going to be using words to symbolize each one of the numbers. And I use my place value holders. Expanded form, I'm going to pull it apart. Remember, I'm going to expand that number. So this 8,562 becomes 8,000 plus 500 plus 60 plus 2. Let's go ahead and let's look at the expanded form for numbers 1 through 6. Look at number 1. It says 73. I'm going to underline the directions expanded form because that lets me know that that's what I'm looking for. So when I'm doing expanded form, I come back up here and I know that it's going to be an addition problem. So I have 73. When I read that number, I'm reading 70 plus 3. Okay, this doesn't have an equal sign. I'm just writing each number in that different type of form. Number 3, 5,621. Again, I'm writing it in expanded form, so I need to make sure that I am writing it with the addition symbols between it. So pulling this apart, I'm going to look at where my first number is. It's a 5, and it's in the thousands place. So I know that the first number is 5,000. Don't forget my comma. Plus my next number that I'm going to look at is a 6. I know that it's in the hundreds place, so therefore I have 600 plus. I have 20 or 2 in the tens place, which represents 20. And my last digit in the ones place is a 1, so I just add my 1 on there. So 5,621 represents by 5,000 plus 600 plus 20 plus 1. Look at number 5. 8,083. In this case, I'm going to look again at the first number. It's an 8, and it's in the thousands place. So I know that my first number is going to be 8,000. Add. When I look at the hundreds, notice how there's nothing there. Therefore, I'm not going to put anything there. So next I go to the tens, which has an 8 in it. Well, 8 tens is actually represented by 80 plus, and my last digit in the ones place is a 3. Go ahead and pause so that you can work on numbers 2, 4, and 6 on your own. Now let's look at numbers 7 through 12. It says read and write each number in standard form. When I'm writing in standard form, I come back up here and I notice that I'm going to be writing it as in normal numbers. Look for my place value to help me. So let's look at number 7. It says 40 plus 3. Well, I know that 40 plus 3 is actually 43. Okay, I have written the number, forgot to underline this, in standard form. That tells me what my directions are. Next one is 900 plus 5. Well, I know in my hundred spot I'm going to have a 9. There is nothing in my 10 spot, so now I know that I'm going to have a 0 there. And then I have my 5. So my answer is 905. On number 11, I have 5,000 plus 30. I start with my first number, which is a 5. Notice how I have nothing in the hundreds. I have no hundreds here, so that therefore becomes a 0. I have a 3 in my tens place. And again, I have nothing over here after it in my ones place, so it becomes a 0. So I'm just, after I've pulled apart the number like I have here, I'm putting it back together. Go ahead and pause so that you can complete numbers 8, 10, and 12 on your own. Now let's look at 13 and 14. Read and write each number in word form. Notice in word form I'm going to be representing the numbers with words. So I have 400 plus 40 plus 1. I don't know about you, but I struggle with these. So I'm going to make the number standard and then write the written. So 400 plus 40 plus 1 should give me 4 in the hundreds, 4 in the tens, and a 1. So my number is 441. If I say the number 441, that's what I'm going to write. 441. And remember, 41 gets the hyphen in between. Let's look at number 14. It says 1,000 plus 50. Again, I'm going to write it in standard form so that I know what number I'm working with. 1,000. I don't see any hundreds. Then I have a 5 in my tens place. And I have no ones. So when I read this number, I have 1,050. So I'm going to write it the way I say it. 1,000, that's my placeholder. And notice when I read it, what came after the 1,000? A comma. So I'm going to put a comma after 1,000. And then I'm just going to write the word 50. Let's move on down to numbers 15 through 18. It says read and write each number in standard form. So just like we did here from standard form, this time instead of it being expanded, we're going to be looking at it in word form. So again, I'm going to underline that standard form because that's what I want to go for. So I have 35. Well, the standard form of 35 would be a 3 in the tens and a 5 in the ones. Okay, go ahead and look at number 17. 6,008. Well, I know that I'm going to have a 6 and then a placeholder, which is my comma, and then I have an 8 only. Do I have 100? I don't. Do I have any tens? I don't. So my last number would just be an 8. Okay. Go ahead and pause so that you can now complete 16 and 18 on your own. Let's go ahead and look at 19 through 21. The directions say, write the value, this is how much it's worth, not the number, of the underlined digit. So in this number, I'm looking at the underlined digit, which is a 5, but I know that it's in the tens place, so really 5 times 10 gives me my 50. Okay. On number 20, read the number 4,851. The 4 is the underlined digit, and what place value is it in? It's in the thousands. So I'm going to be multiplying 4 times 1,000, which gives me 4,000. And that's my place value for the underlined digit. Go ahead and look at number 21 now. I have the number 6,507. The underlined digit here is a 5. So I'm going to multiply by 100, which will then give me 500. This concludes Unit 1, Lesson 2.